Jay-Z's alleged mistress? Yes, let's talk about it. Miss Kathy White was a fitness and beauty expert, baby. She graduated from Howard University and she was the CEO of her own PR company. Now, she was rumored to be Jay-Z's mistress because one night in Las Vegas at Tao nightclub, she was seen with model Claudia Jordan sitting at Jay-Z's table with P. Diddy. It was rumored that the whole entourage was there to see a boxing match, but Beyonce was not in attendance, sweetheart. Just Claudia and Kathy. Now get this. Kathy had been rumored to be Jay-Z's mistress years before he got with Beyonce. Do y'all see the rings? Do y'all not see the fucking ring? So the blogs were having a field day, literally a field day with this girl. They were calling her, texting her, trying to get a quote and everything. And she just wasn't with the shit. Well, one day she finally gave in and decided to give a little information on her and Jay-Z. And she called Jay-Z to tell them that she was going to out them. Allegedly. Now get this. This happened within 2 weeks of her death. And on the day Beyonce announced her pregnancy to the world, she suddenly passes. Yep, so Kathy wasn't feeling good, so she called 911 and she said she wasn't feeling well. Well, at first, her death was named as blunt force trauma to the head, and it seemed very suspicious. But later on, they changed it to an aneurysm, but they could not tell you what type of aneurysm she passed from. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this popped up on my timeline today. Liz Corkin, which was one of the people that was...
You just caused a stir on the internet surrounding Jay-Z.
This is when I was at Star Magazine. My boss said, hey, I want to do this Jay-Z affair mistress story. He's allegedly having an affair with this woman named Kathy White. Can you find her? Can you get a hold of her? And I got a hold of her. She was like, okay, let me think about doing an interview with you. The next thing I know, she's... What do you mean she's... You know, like, what happened?
On the beat, boy.
Let's get high, yeah, you know I'm about to roll. Let's get please, yeah, you know I gotta pull. Let's live life, live once I'm about to turn up. Get fly, oh for sure it's about to go up. Let's get high, yeah, you know I'm about to roll. Let's get please, yeah, you know I gotta pull. Let's live life, live once I'm about to turn up. Get fly, oh for sure it's about to go up. Roll my blunt and pass my lights.
All right, y'all, we're back. Thanks for being here, all that good stuff. Yeah, thanks. I want to shout out to, let's see, I had one person look out today, and that is, shout out to Shelly. Thank you so much, real talk. I got to get that camera ASAP. This ain't working, and it's really hurting the numbers too, so yeah. Anyways, we're going to listen to a clip. And I want to know what you guys think. I've heard people talk about certain routes that this couple took to achieve parenthood. And I'm not sure if it was a natural route. But the things that are being said are very interesting because some people are saying that this man stepped out on his wife before they were married or whatnot. And he may have had a situation. Yes, situationship. There were a few times we seen this woman and people speculated if her pregnancy belly was real and things like that. And there was one talk show that she was on where the belly kind of slipped toward her left hip as she was sitting down. It was around her thighs and it kind of looked like a pillow or something. But we're going to review and react to a few clips. I want to know what you guys think at the end. Shout out to everybody that's contributing to help me get a new camera. That does mean a lot. We are $97 away from a new camera. $ Trap House Kitchen 1. Let's get to the content.
Part 2. When this editor from Star Magazine found out that Kathy White had suddenly passed away, she was completely shocked and immediately wondered if this was not a coincidence. Sources close to Kathy were able to divulge that Kathy had gone to Jay-Z to let him know that she was considering coming forward and sharing her side of the story and her truth of what has been going on between the two of them. Within days of Jay-Z allegedly learning that his alleged mistress was going to come forward and expose their ongoing affair, on August 28th of 2011, Beyonce and Jay-Z announced that they were pregnant with their first child. And they announced this at the VMAs. On September 1st of 2011, just days after Jay-Z and Beyonce had announced that they were pregnant, Kathy White would no longer be alive. There are conflicting reports on the state in which Kathy White was found on that very tragic day. Some sources say she was found unresponsive in her New York apartment, while other sources say that there was a 911 call that came from Kathy's apartment. When paramedics arrived, they took Kathy White to the hospital because she was extremely ill and then was later pronounced unalive in the hospital. Kathy White's autopsy and toxicology were never released to the public, but ultimately the manner in which Kathy passed was ruled to have been caused by a brain aneurysm. It was also heavily speculated that Kathy White was pregnant with Jay-Z's child at the time of her passing, but with the autopsy never being released, it's not possible for us to confirm that information. This woman was pregnant. That just makes everything that much more tragic, but I just was not able to find definitive proof or confirmation of this detail, so I will just leave it at that. With Kathy being such a young and healthy woman, it is very shocking to hear that this was the way that she passed. This editor at Star Magazine, Liz, continued to dig into this situation despite the fact that Kathy had passed away and despite the fact that her boss urged her not to continue looking into the situation. While doing her research, Liz allegedly discovered that Jay-Z, the self-proclaimed king of New York, has many NYPD officials in his back pocket. Liz also allegedly discovered that there was a decent amount of coroners in New York City who were willing to rule a very obvious suspicious passing or unaliving as a natural passing for the right amount of cash. Now, I want to talk about one of the biggest theories that I've seen people speculate about online about this entire situation and why it happened in the way that it happened. And again, this is just speculation. I'm not saying that this is facts. Speculation. Many speculated that Beyonce and Jay-Z used a surrogate to get pregnant with their daughter Blue Ivy. And while of course using a surrogate is most certainly not controversial in the slightest, many were speculating simply from this clip right here that Beyonce was using a fake bump to appear as though she was pregnant.
First, there was some speculation about the varying sizes of her baby bump, but ever since her recent interview on Sunday Night HD, there's been a whole new wave of people saying what must have been a fake baby bump visually collapsed as she sat down. I admit, that did look weird, but maybe it was a weird camera angle, or maybe she wears extra padding to keep her due date a secret.
Because of the way that Beyonce's belly folded when she sat down, many believed that there was no way that that was a real baby bump. There was so much speculation about this situation that even Wendy Williams did an experiment with her audience to see if other pregnant women's bellies folded like that when they sat down.
Beyonce recently, like last Sunday, appeared on an Australian show. And when she sat down, the baby bump squashed, bent, and crumpled.
The reason that I bring this up though is because if Beyonce and Jay-Z were having a baby via a surrogate, it would be a little odd to announce that they were physically with child. Unless the House of Carter was trying to cause a massive media PR frenzy to take all of the media attention away from the woman who was just recently alleged in the press to be Jay-Z's mistress mysteriously passing away. Well, obviously that is just speculation and maybe a little bit of conspiracy, but if it was their intention to take the media attention off of anyone potentially running a story about Jay-Z's mistress passing away, it most certainly worked because the media and the press were completely zeroed in on Beyonce and Jay-Z's pregnancy from the moment it was announced to the moment that Blue Ivy made her arrival. And at least I personally never even heard about Kathy White until this whole P. Diddy stuff started flipping everything on its head. Go to part 3.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all, this is interesting. It's very interesting. I'm not gonna get too deep into it, but I wouldn't be surprised either way. I really wouldn't. We have seen and experienced so much with this couple, like just from other people's accounts that were directly involved with them. Just from the jealousy, the stealing of styles or songs or samples. It's like, dude, what for? We're all artists. Why take my style? Why, you know what I mean? So I could see something like this happening. Let's continue.
In 2011, Beyonce announced to the entire world that she was pregnant with her first child, that she was having with legendary rapper Jay-Z. But I gotta be honest with you sports fans, something doesn't quite feel right. Because just 3 days after Beyonce let the world know that she was pregnant with her first child, the world would also find out of the death of Jay-Z's mistress. Jay-Z and Beyonce are hip-hop's, if not the world's, most powerful couple. Jay-Z with an estimated net worth of $2.5 billion and Beyonce with about $800 million. A relationship that's been in the public eye for nearly 25 years, starting all the way back in 2001. With hits like Bonnie and Clyde, Crazy in Love, deemed in the early 2000s as hip-hop sweethearts, but also as hip-hop's power couple. Now, every celebrity relationship comes with controversy or scandals, but with Jay-Z, some stating that he even cheated on her with Rihanna. And these cheating allegations went wild, women claiming they had relations with Jay while he was on the road, with some even stating that he possibly had kids that he was hiding from the world. But Beyonce, not speaking on rumors, keeping her cool, would eventually lead her to respond in her highly acclaimed album, Lemonade, which would then lead to a highly controversial moment within the Grammys with singer Adele. But you see, throughout all the cheating rumors, there was always one name that always stuck out: Kathy White. See, Kathy Michelle White was born in 1982 to a military family in Fort Polk, Louisiana, until around high school, where Kathy had moved to Chesapeake, Virginia to attend Indian River High School. After graduating high school, she graduated from Howard University in 2004, where she would then start her own PR firm, which made her take a large leap from Virginia all the way to LA in hopes to make her business jump from off the ground. And almost instantaneously, she would start making connections. She was a very people person and very friendly and very nice. But most notably, Kathy would be introduced to a woman named Claudia Jordan, who had been pretty well established within the LA scene, but in Las Vegas as well. And it would be in Las Vegas where her and her friend Marlon Wayans would introduce Kathy to a man who also frequently visited Las Vegas: Jay-Z. On May 2nd of 2009, Manny Pacquiao would be fighting Ricky Hatton in the MGM Grand Casino in Las Vegas. And it would be P. Diddy, Cassie Ventura, Jay-Z, and even Suge Knight all in attendance. It wouldn't be till after the fight at an after party in Tao nightclub where Kathy and Claudia would be introduced to P. Diddy and Jay-Z. Now fast forward a couple months after Kathy and Claudia had been introduced to Jay-Z, and although Kathy loved LA, she had suddenly been offered a huge life-changing deal. But it would be moving back to the East Coast, but this time in Jay-Z's city of New York. And as soon as everything was starting to look a little bit good for Kathy, everything came crashing down. Because in August of 2009, Jay-Z's alleged cheating scandal with Kathy would be brought to light by a man named Jackie Jasper, author of Hollywood Street King. And it would be here that he would report that the relationship between the two had actually gone back before Beyonce and Jay-Z had ever met. And that all this information had come from a very close source to Kathy and Claudia, a man by the name Jason Lee of Hollywood Unlocked. But there was only one problem with his story, being that Jackie Jasper had been making fake claims in order to fit the desired narrative because he knew this would be his big break, making everything he now said as unreliable. But now none of that mattered, as the media had now ran with Kathy being Jay-Z's mistress, which would force Kathy to now delete all of her socials and step away from the limelight for 2 whole years.
That's crazy work. Crazy work. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Crazy work. Crazy work. I don't know what else to say. Everything is not a coincidence. That's what I will say. Whether this is true or false is not up to me. Only the people involved know. But it's a thing. Allegedly. Anyways, if you want to help me get another camera, I am $97 away. $Trap House Kitchen 1. I'm out. Peace.